Selling Etsy digital products is one of my absolute favorite ways to make money online working from home. Not only can you work as much or as little as you want on your own schedule, but you can earn passive income by choosing digital products that you literally create once and then set up to sell on autopilot without any further active work from you. To be honest, I thought it was too good to be true too until I tried it for myself and started seeing sale after sale roll in. My life has been completely transformed by selling digital products online, which is why I want to help you do it too. In this video, I'm going over the 5 main steps you'll need to take to get started selling digital products online and including some pro tips for how to make sure your digital products business is successful from day one. So let's go ahead and jump into step number 1, which is to determine what type of digital product you'll sell. Within the hugely broad category of digital products, there are 2 main types that we're going to be talking about. Number 1 is for physical use. These are digital products that are meant to be printed out and used physically or tangibly. And the second type is for digital use, digital products that are not ever meant to be printed out. They're specifically just for electronic use. Now, even within these 2 subcategories, there are tons of different types of digital products. For physical use, products could be printable party decor like banners, signs, and seat placement cards, printable wall art, and printable planning spreadsheets like a budget planner or a fitness tracker. And then some examples for digital use products could be a Canva template for social media posts, ebook, a video masterclass, or even selling graphics and fonts to other digital creators. So the first step to determine the right product type is to do some product research. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel and come up with something completely new. We're looking for what's already working, already selling well, and already high in demand on the platform we want to sell on, whether it's Etsy or another selling platform. Since I'm an Etsy seller, I like to do Etsy specific research. My go-to resources for this are Sales Samurai, Everbee, and even just using the Etsy search bar to search through the Etsy listings themselves. If you're interested to see how exactly I do this, I have a whole video explaining how to do this type of product and trend research. I'll have that video linked below in case you'd like to click through and watch that after you're done here. Now, if you're like, Kate, I really don't know where to start with all of this digital product creation, I've got you covered. I have a free Canva template bundle for you that comes with full commercial usage, right? So this is for you to help you get started, to give you templates for digital products you can sell online. So these are literally designs for digital products like social media posts, slide deck presentations, lead magnets, things that people are looking for templates for online that you can take, edit, and make your own and sell as your own digital product so you don't have to start designing from scratch. I know how intimidating it can be when you first start, and it's helpful to just get something out there. So these templates, I hope, are going to be helpful for you to give you a shortcut as you get started and give you an actual template that you can sell online as your own digital product. So if you want to grab that template bundle, I have the link for it in the video description below. You can click through, access those completely for free, and start selling digital products today. So once you know what type of product you'd like to offer, then it's time to move on to step number 2, which is to get more specific with it and niche down on trending style elements. Having an idea of the broad product category isn't quite enough here. We need to identify specific trending elements and determine what aesthetic we're going to be offering our products in. When I say identifying trend elements to incorporate into our products, I'm talking about elements like fonts, color schemes, graphic design trends, design layouts. There are lots of different elements that make up a graphic design, and it's important that we as sellers know what's currently trending and high in demand in the market so we can meet that demand with our products. So there are some helpful resources to do this type of trend research. I love using Pinterest Predicts, which is a website by Pinterest that predicts up and coming on the rise trends for the next year. Pinterest Predicts is known to be pretty accurate, and it's really helpful to look through and see if any of those trends might be things you could incorporate into your products. I also love looking at the Creative Market design trends. You can find this by going to creativemarket.com/trends. And this is a page where you can see Creative Market's predictions for current and upcoming trends specifically for graphic design. And thirdly, I love to use Canva design trends webpage as well. You can find that at canva.com/design-trends. And I'll have all of these linked in the description box below as well. But Canva is another great go-to resource for graphic design trends. And then, like I mentioned before, one of my go-to methods for doing this kind of research is to look on the platform I'm thinking of selling on. So for me, that's Etsy, typing in a relevant keyword phrase that describes my niche into the search bar, and looking at the first page of listings that come up because I know those listings are doing really well. That's why they're ranking on the first page. And a lot of them have bestseller or popular now badges, which tells me that those are listings that are really successful on Etsy. I'll then look through those listings and see if I can notice any trend elements that are repeating over and over again. Things like color schemes that are being used, font styles that are being used, graphic design styles like watercolor or retro or pixelated or abstract. I can be pretty confident that if I'm seeing some of these trend elements repeating and being used over and over again in these best sellers on Etsy, that those are elements that are causing these listings to be high in demand. Now, of course, my goal is never to copy another person's listing, but I'm going to use this research to spark some inspiration for how I can put my own spin and my own twist on elements that are already trending and working really well. Now, I have one more resource for you that's completely free and I think is going to be a huge help for you, especially if you're just starting out and maybe you're not sure yet what type of digital product you want to offer. I have a master list of digital product ideas. I've done the research and compiled tons of different digital product ideas, everything from printables to templates to branding packages, you name it, it's probably on the list. But if you're unsure of what the right product fit would be for you, then definitely click the link in the description box below to grab this free guide, look through the possibilities and see if any of those ideas stand out to you. Maybe there's something on there that you hadn't even thought of before that would be a great fit for your business. All right, so now you've determined what broad product category type you're going to sell in and also determined a few different trending elements that you can incorporate into your products. So now it's time to move on to step number 3, which is to decide where you will sell your products. Here we're talking about where you're going to set up shop online. So there are 2 main options here for different types of websites you can sell your digital products on. Number 1 is a marketplace platform, and number 2 is selling on your own website. So if you decide to sell on a marketplace, this is a website that hosts lots of different shops. So we're talking about platforms like Etsy, Amazon, and eBay. These are all examples of marketplaces that you can sell on. Creative Market is another great one that's specifically for digital products. But when you sell on a marketplace, you're opening up your shop as part of a marketplace that hosts lots of shops. All of these have their own search engines and their own algorithms to display search results to people shopping on those marketplaces. And all of them have organic traffic of people that maybe have never heard of you or your shop before, but they are a loyal shopper on that platform. So they're going to that platform to look for what they need. And you have a great chance of being discovered and tapping into that organic traffic. Or you can sell on your own website. So this is not being part of a marketplace. This is hosting your own e-commerce website through a host like Shopify, Wix, Squarespace. There are a lot of different e-commerce shop options, but here you don't have the benefit of organic traffic like you would if you were part of a marketplace. People are finding you through either the Google search or through something like social media where they've discovered you and clicked through to your website. Though you don't have the benefit of that natural organic traffic, you do have some other benefits when you sell on your own website. The top ones being that you have more control over your own shop and site. You don't have shared control like you do when you're part of a marketplace platform. And it's also a lot more customizable, so you have a lot more options for making it look and feel exactly how you want and incorporating some different integrations and really building out your website to be exactly what you want instead of being limited to the marketplace appearance. If you're wondering which one is better, I think they're both great and they have pros and cons, but I generally recommend those who are just starting out to pick a marketplace platform to try first so that you have a better chance of being discovered quicker through that natural organic traffic. And then you can eventually branch into owning your own website and having your own shop there. But if you're someone who's been in the game for a little while and you already have a little bit of an audience or a customer base built up, you could definitely go right into your own shop and your own e-commerce website because you have an audience and a way to drive traffic there from the beginning, which is going to help you get momentum. Either way, I definitely recommend that you just pick one to focus on at first, and then eventually you can branch into the other and be doing both if you want to. And that brings us to our next step, which is to decide on your creation tool or software. There are a lot of different design platforms out there and tools that you can use to create your digital products, but you need to decide on one that you're going to focus on to get started. And this is going to depend on the type of product you want to sell. The Adobe Suite is the industry standard for creating digital products to sell. If you're using an Adobe tool, you're most likely going to be using Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, or Adobe InDesign. You would use Adobe Illustrator if you're working with vectors. You'd probably use Adobe Photoshop if you're working with actual photographic images. And you'd probably use Adobe InDesign if you're creating something with a multi-page layout like a planner. Now, these Adobe tools do cost money, so if you have a very limited budget and you're looking for something free, there are some free open source web-based softwares you can use. The most popular are GIMP and Inkscape. GIMP is known sort of as the free open source counterpart to Photoshop, and Inkscape is sort of thought of as the free version of Adobe Illustrator. Many digital creators also use and love the Procreate app. This is an iPad app that you pay for. So if you love designing on your iPad, you might look into Procreate. And then of course we have my two favorites, Canva and Kittl. Both of these you can use for free and have web-based versions, and in my opinion are great for so many different types of digital product creators, because not only is it pretty user-friendly and easy to get used to, they also both have a library of built-in assets, graphics, fonts, photos, pretty much anything you would need to create a digital design. And if you're looking at selling templates, not only can you use Canva or Kittl to sell templates, but you can also use another tool called Template, which is actually made for selling templates, anything from stationery to invitation templates. So that's another option that you have if you're going that route. So to determine what creation tool would be the right fit for you, you need to think about what type of product you're wanting to offer, what end file you'll need. Do you need a template link that you can share? You'll want to think about your budget and also how user-friendly it needs to be. And then once you've decided on your creation tool, it's time to move on to the next step, which is to finally create and list your products. So since this is a pretty broad step, I'm just going to hit the main points of what you'll need to do and some pro tips here. Number one, you'll want to start creating your files with the final size and file type in mind. So for instance, if I'm creating a piece of printable wall art and I know I want to offer it an 8x10 size, I'm going to go ahead from the very beginning and open a project in my creation tool in that size, so I'm not having to resize it later. This is another reason why I love Canva specifically, because they have lots of different preset sizes. So most of the time you don't even have to research to see what common sizes are for the types of products you're wanting. You can just start typing what you want to create into Canva and it'll automatically come up with suggested preset sizes for you. Secondly, here you'll want to source graphic elements and fonts either inside your design tool or from a third-party website. So if you're using a design tool like Canva or Kittl, these have a built-in library, like I mentioned before, of several different font types, graphic icons, clip art, photos, so many different things you can use in your designs. But if you don't find what you need inside of the design tool itself, you can always source it from a third-party website like Creative Market or Creative Fabrica. You can even buy a lot of these types of graphics and fonts on Etsy itself. Now, quick note here, wherever you're sourcing your elements from, you just want to make sure that you're reading the licensing terms carefully to make sure that you're allowed to use these fonts and elements in the way that you intend to commercially. Now, our third point here is that if you are deciding to sell a bundle of different files together, or if you have multiple digital files that are going to be all part of one listing together, you'll want to make sure that you plan if you're going to upload those as individual files to the same listing, or if you're going to use a different tool to deliver those to your customer like Google Drive or Dropbox. If you're selling on Etsy specifically, there is a 5-file limit for digital listings, so you can upload up to 5 files on each listing, but each of those files also has a maximum size of 20 MB. So if you have more than 5 files that you want to be part of the same listing, or if any of those files are above that file size limit, you may need a workaround, in which case you could upload those files to something like a Google Drive folder, and then just create one file that serves as your deliverable to your customer that has an embedded link for that Google Drive folder. That way, when your customer purchases from you, all they're downloading is one file. When they open that file, they'll see the link to click on that will take them straight over to that folder that houses all of their other files. And that way you can deliver more than 5 or even larger files if you need to. You can easily create a deliverable file like this on Canva. Now you want to make sure as you're starting to create your listings that are highly optimized to be found in the search and to become high converting by using really quality photos and also putting in highly searched keyword phrases that are relevant for your product into your tags and titles and descriptions. Now, if you're wondering how to find these highly searched keyword phrases that you can use, I have a whole video on how to do this type of SEO research linked in the description box below, so you can click through and watch that after you're done here. But in addition to optimizing your SEO with those keyword phrases, having really quality photos is important, and I'm assuming that most of us digital product creators are going to be using mock-ups. Mock-ups are images that you can use when you don't actually have your physical product printed out to take a photo of yourself, or if your product isn't meant to be printed out. Using a mock-up image will give the potential customer an idea of how this actually might be used in their life. You can find mock-up images to use on lots of different platforms, including Canva itself, Creative Fabrica, Creative Market. You can purchase these on Etsy, but wherever you source these from, you can always bring them into your design tool. I like to bring them into Canva, and then you're going to take a screenshot of your actual product itself, or you can use the product file either way and drag it into your mock-up to make it look realistic. So there you go, friends. Those are my top tips for starting your digital product business and making it successful from day one. Don't forget to click the links in the description box below to grab your free digital product Canva template bundle and also your master list of digital product ideas. Happy selling, friends.